March to present, we have put at least 100 persons before the court.
Business levels do decrease, there's a possibility there will be further furloughing down the road.
Seeing additional COVID-19 cases as the second wave of the virus unfolds. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is a Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Health officials revealing new cases of the COVID-19 virus in parts of the country as a national weekend lockdown ends. 16 cases were revealed on Sunday alone, with 10 of them over in Grand Bahama, 5 here in New Providence, and with Exuma experiencing its first COVID case. The total number of confirmed COVID-19 figures in the Bahamas now stands at 342. With some 169 confirmed cases, Grand Bahama is considered the epicenter nationwide, and already the island is in its 4th day of a 2-week lockdown. But police say despite the surge in cases, they will continue to enforce the law. Here's Talia Hall.
With the 2-week lockdown underway in Grand Bahama, officers are expected to be on the streets in full force. Assistant Commissioner of Police Ashton Greenslade says police will ensure that all persons are following the rules and regulations.
The entire island, including West End and 8 Mile Rock, we will have checkpoints at strategic locations, barricade off, and we'll be checking all vehicles. Those persons who are not permitted to be on the street, you are asked to remain home. Those persons who are permitted to be on the street, we are asking you, please follow the COVID protocol.
He's asking all businesses, including bars, to remain closed during the lockdown.
We are also asking those persons who attend in breaking the law and selling alcohol from your private residence to cease and desist forthwith. We want to discourage all illegal activities during this COVID-19.
The ACP says some areas of concern during the COVID-19 pandemic are the Smiths Point community, Williamstown, 8 Mile Rock, and West End, as many would gather in large crowds without masks.
However, I must say that the police was out there and we've been doing our job. From March to present, we have put at least 100 persons before the court for not adhering to the law and for breaking the laws as it relates to COVID-19. And we're going to continue to do that.
Greenslade confirming that several officers are in quarantine, but he says that will not stop their efforts.
We have just shy of 400 officers here in Grand Bahama. So the police stations will be operational. You can still call in at the station and make your complaint. You can still go in at the station and make your complaint. But we have a special task force, a special operation team who will be dealing with the COVID-19 law right here from headquarters. We have over 60 officers just dealing with that, mobile patrol and static points. So we are more than ready and prepared for this challenge and to ensure that you, the residents of Grand Bahama, remain safe.
It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
As we said earlier, it's been several days now since the island of Grand Bahama has been on lockdown. Jay Philippe takes a look back at how residents fared and prepared for the first day of the lockdown.
Many restrictions have been put in place to safeguard against the possible spread of the deadly coronavirus. Grand Bahama is now a hotspot with more than 100 cases recorded since the borders opened on July 1st. Residents were abiding by the rules and regulations. There was very little traffic on the streets, particularly in the downtown area. We made a stop at the Rand Memorial Hospital. There was very little activity in that area. At the Grand Bahama Domestic Airport and other ports of entry in Grand Bahama look like a ghost town as no traffic is allowed into and out of Grand Bahama. Only emergency flights transporting essential goods or services may operate. Long lines at the banks are a thing of the past as banks are closed until August 7th. Residents can use ATM machines and overnight deposits are permitted. Food stores, however, are still open to the general public from Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and for essential workers on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pharmacies continue to operate with limited hours through the week. The pharmacies will be open from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on weekdays and on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for essential workers. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, COVID-19 cases in Bimini and the Cat Key area have doubled in recent times. Currently, there are 21 confirmed cases in Bimini with 4 in Cat Key. Island Administrator Cleola Pinder says provided this update on COVID patients.
Persons are isolating at home. We just have one person in the government quarantine, but they're managing. They're at home, and it hasn't been too much of a strain on us. I guess their symptoms are mild, and so they're able to manage it at home.
Pinder appealed to residents to adhere to the regulations, noting that several social outings on the island may have led to a spike in cases.
We had 3 funerals, and we also had 2 showers, and it's just trying to tell persons that you cannot gather. You really should not gather and be in crowds. And if you have to go out, then make sure and wear your mask. And I believe that persons probably just let down their guard because we were kind of free for so long and just didn't adhere to, the protocol was what's going to be the norm. You have to wear your mask, you have to social distance, and then you have to continuously wash your hands.
As the country enters into a new week, residents can also expect some new COVID-19 measures. Effective today, commercial activity will continue as normal on all islands of the Bahamas, with the exception of Grand Bahama, now under a 2-week lockdown. Also, a new curfew takes effect from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., and all business activities must be completed by 6 o'clock. Indoor and outdoor dining in all restaurants will be prohibited, as takeaway, curbside, and delivery services will be permitted. Gyms will not be allowed to operate, and salons, barbershops, and spas can only have 1 client at a time. Now, we're also getting reaction from Bahamians regarding the latest round of weekend lockdowns. ZNS News caught up with several of them who expressed mixed views.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think we are faced with a serious virus. We need to adhere to the law to make sure that the virus goes away. That's my biggest concern.
Our duty as citizens, we have to obey the law. We have to support the decisions of the officials, and we have to mainly to take care of ourselves. And I think so it's a wise decision.
With people traveling back and forth, it was bound to happen, but we have to do now what we have to do. So it's bitter medicine, but it'll make us better in the end. And that's the only way we can get ahead.
I just really find out that we're going to go on a lockdown as I speak now. But I think it's better ways that this could have been dealt with. At least give the people time to get themselves prepared and ready to come to do what they have to do. But it's just like something just like a sudden boom. But it's better ways, like I just saying, you could have done this.
It's here already, so ain't nothing you could do much about it. Locking down, I think what the government should actually do is put the police on the front line.
There are 7 p.m. curfew. It doesn't give one time to, if you're working, like say with the work week, that's, it doesn't give one time to really get the necessary things done. It's so limited because the day goes by really fast, and there are a lot of things that maybe a wife has to do with things that a wife has to do, or even a single mom. So I don't think it's fair, and then it was sprung upon us, and then there's so much ups. 1 minute it's 7 p.m., and the next it was put to 10. It's like it's mind-boggling. It's not fair to one. I don't think it's really fair. I think it needs to be well thought out. The whole process needs to be well thought out and not ad hoc.
And the Royal Bahamas Police Force was asked to investigate reports that the proper COVID-19 protocols were not adhered to at a wedding in Harbour Island over the weekend. A statement from the Prime Minister's office noted that the competent authority granted permission for 2 pre-planned weddings with more than 5 in attendance this past weekend, provided that the proper protocols were followed. The weddings included a destination wedding over on Harbour Island and the other right here in New Providence.
No major obstructions, but some wet roads, and as far as we know, no major obstructions across the island. On the other side of the break, a look at your weekend traffic, as well as what emergency personnel need to know when on the streets during curfew or lockdown.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Color is in the fabric of our history. It's in our markets, in our landmarks, where we work, and where we play. We're a colorful country and people. So join us at the Paint Place, where great color never ends. It's our 20% off store-wide independent sale happening now.
Well, when you want to paint it right the first time.
Bonaventure Medical Laboratory at East Avenue, Centerville, and Sandyport celebrates 20 years of providing quality laboratory services with timely results. While partnering with your physicians and insurance companies, we have expanded into our modernized facility providing EKG testing, the latest in gonorrhea and chlamydia STD tests, rapid tests, paternity screens, online reporting of results, and also phlebotomy training. Visit or call Bonaventure Medical Lab, open daily at 7:30 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m., or visit our Sandyport or Southside clinic locations.
The Ministry of Health is working to ensure the safety of the Bahamian people. Help us minimize the risk that coronavirus poses to citizens, residents, and visitors by following these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water, apply soap and lather for 20 seconds by rubbing them together. Include the top of your hands between your fingers and under your fingernails. Rinse your hands under clean water, then dry them with a paper towel or air dry them. Remember to wash your hands before and after eating, preparing a meal, changing a diaper, or caring for the sick, and always after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or taking out the trash. Step 2. Cough and sneeze in your elbow or upper sleeve, not in your hands, not in the air. Or you can cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissue in the trash bin when you're finished. Remember to wash your hands with soap and clean water after you cough or sneeze. Also, remember never to spit on the ground, roads, or in open spaces. Step 3. Ensure that raw meat is properly handled and cooked thoroughly. Step 4. Avoid sharing drinking glasses, eating utensils like spoons and forks, or sharing personal items such as toothbrushes and towels. Germs can live on surfaces we touch, so wipe and disinfect surfaces where germs can live, and keep your surroundings clean. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. Should you or anyone you know feel that you have been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the surveillance unit of the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 502-4776, 502-4790, or 502-4737. We want Bahamians and those that live with and visit us to remain safe from the coronavirus. To do this, we need the help of each and every one of you to follow the simple steps we have shared. Let's stay safe, Bahamas.
Allen and the Morning Edition team is standing by with your daily commute.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Well, a pleasant good morning, LaDon. Good morning, Bahamas, and to all of our viewers this morning. We're giving you your first look at traffic. Of course, this one coming in from City 2000 near the Carmichael Road Police Station. And of course, this morning I'm joined by Traffic Officer Sergeant Crestonier Johnson from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, who's giving us an initial look at weekend traffic.
A pleasant good morning to you and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Over the weekend period, we've had 16 accidents involving damages, 2 accidents involving injury, and 2 hit-and-run accidents. At this time, there are 14 persons who remain hospitalized as a result of being involved in a traffic accident.
So a slow start to the week, but some good news there. And this morning, as I said, we're near the Southwestern Division Carmichael Road Police Station. Officer Johnson, tell us what areas this particular station covers.
This is one of our larger districts. This extends all the way down to the Coral Harbor area. It covers straight to Tonic Williams Darling area, the southern side, down to Marshall Road, and here from Blue Hill and Carmichael Road. So yes, it's a very big district, and it encompasses a lot.
Now, over the weekend, of course, we're aware that there was a lockdown, and as far as traffic is concerned, there should have only been emergency personnel on the streets. What bits of advice would you offer at this time for those persons?
Okay, we just reminding the general public, if you're utilizing the street, to utilize the 311 and 511 hotlines. You're also required by law to have your documents on you, that's identification documents. So yes, at least your driver's license. Now, if you're en route to work, you're asking as much as possible for you to have that work ID in your possession. So while you're traversing the streets, if officers were to stop you, you're now able to produce that identification. And in situations where you may not have a work ID, there's a procedure for that. You're going to have your supervisor as much as possible to contact the 311 or 511 hotline to alert them of the fact that you are working for that particular day or that particular schedule to work within that time. And if you give them their name, then you can have your driver's license or even some form of ID presented to the officers, and they will confirm that you are to be on the street.
And also during this pandemic, we know, of course, conditions have not been as usual. Here in the Bahamas, we have persons who have been traveling to many of the islands for rest and relaxation. What advice would you offer to those persons who are going to regions like Exuma, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama, which may not see a high volume of traffic on a regular basis, but during, say, for example, a holiday weekend, they may? What advice would you offer to those motorists?
Okay, but when I think about the Family Islands, I still think about New Providence. We have the same issues that we face here on New Providence, we face on the Family Islands. So as it pertains to drivers, and we talk about the wet road conditions last week and the puddles of water. You know, we found that even this weekend, we had a lot of individuals who drove in the middle of the street. And doing that, that's a real no-no. That's something not to practice, because we have vehicles that are coming in from the side corners. We have residents that are on the main road who pull out. So you have to be mindful that you are not the only road user. So as you traverse the streets on the islands and even here in New Providence, we're asking you as much as possible to drive like you would usually do and do so with due care and attention. Be courteous to other road users, and to always be mindful of the fact that you are to drive to arrive alive, and you're not only driving for yourselves.
Well, of course, some great information coming in, as always, from our traffic officer, Sergeant Crestonier Johnson. And this morning, we're hoping that you get a great start to your week on this Monday. Reporting in from City 2000 for the Morning Edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. The new travel measures now in place, forcing many resorts across the country to take drastic measures in terms of operations. Resorts World in Bimini has laid off a number of its employees. Here's Ramiko Knowles.
The economic fallout of COVID-19 is having a drastic impact on hundreds of Bahamians. Scores of Grand Bahamians employed at the Resorts World in Bimini returning to Grand Bahama on the Balearia after being furloughed. General Manager Vince Angelo says as a result of the safety measures and travel requirements that are in place, the resort is experiencing cancellations, and they were forced to make some tough decisions.
I guess to sum it all up, it started off looking like we were going to be okay, and then as some of the orders changed, there's kind of a little more restrictions on the travel in terms of what they needed to have to get here. we started to see cancellations because of the challenges with that. And then most recently, of course, with now the international borders for the U.S. pretty much being closed down to commercial travel, now we're in a whole mode of private charter only boat and plane to come to Bimini. So we have seen a substantial drop in business because of that.
Some 110 workers are still employed at the resort, but Angelo says if they continue to experience low business levels, more staff could be placed on furlough.
I can't predict the future, so I don't know what's going to happen with the COVID cases, but if they continue to grow in the Bahamas and then they shut the borders down again, then obviously we're going to be back to where we were in March, and we're going to be forced to have to close our business. But so yeah, to answer to your question, if the business levels can remain and things are okay, then we'll stay open on this kind of a part-time schedule of Thursday to Sunday for the hotel and for the casino, and closed on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and the staff will remain here. However, if business levels do decrease and we start to see that we have to reduce operations to cut our losses financially, then yeah, there's a possibility there will be further furloughing down the road.
Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, Cat Key, despite the COVID-19 situation, is said to be holding steady with its touristic operations.
He has always held their own. They strive, it's a membership, it's a yacht club membership, and so their members, continue to come in with, of course, with the protocols in place. They have homes there, and so they have 155 Bahamian staff there. And so, no, they continue to maintain that level. So they're really not going to be affected, per se, because it's a private key.
Around 300 people registered during a virtual job fair held Saturday offering post-hurricane reconstruction and other employment in Abaco. Hurricane Dorian devastated much of the island last September. Financial Services Minister, the Honorable Ellsworth Johnson, spoke to some of the opportunities.
They're in need of almost everything. Electricians, carpenters, plumbers, supervisors. The president of the Contractors Association spoke to the need for collaboration. Mr. John Michael Clark, he spoke of all of the availabilities from the government and what the government is doing to assist in the rebuilding of Abaco. There was an indication that there's a need for a public-private partnership for the construction of a man camp. We then learned of the availability of housing. But one of the critical things they were saying is that, listen, you can't be in other islands and expect to get a job. You have to come. You have to check. And they gave examples of persons who came and in a matter of a day or two were employed. There's a lot of work to be had in Abaco. Obviously, you have to do everything now, taking into consideration the COVID-19 phenomenon.
Panelists included officials from Labor, the Bahamas Contractors Association, the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, and Bakers Bay. Minister Johnson was also asked how the lockdown and travel ban will make an impact.
It's something that we're dealing with now, but we cannot we can't stand still. We have to plan. We know COVID-19 is something that's fluid, and so we know that we have a lockdown. Essential services, travelers can still travel. But we have to still, in a way, guided by the medical professionals, continue to do business. And so, as you have seen from the beginning of COVID-19, first they were saying that gardeners couldn't move. Now you know that gardeners can move. Construction workers can move. So as best we can, working within the regime, we're going to see how we could reconstruct this country.
Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the Honorable Michael Pintar, telling vendors at Potters and Arawak Key that help is on the way. Vendors are concerned about the safety of their stalls, goods, and products during the lockdown period. Pintar said security around the two areas will be increased during this time to avoid any vandalism to stalls and boats or stealing.
Fishers and vendors who have already purchased or captured product for sale, that is for retail or wholesale, are permitted to collect those products from its place or their place of storage, whether that's in the waterways adjacent to their stalls or otherwise, and package those products for storage or sale to buyers. We also believe and are working towards that vendors should be permitted to secure their workstations and installs in preparation for lockdown and to periodically check on the premises for security purposes. The ministry will work with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to ensure that there's stepped up security during the lockdown period.
Minister Pintard also addressed the closure of eateries at Arawak and Potter's Key.
We are working on a plan that would assist vendors, both at Arawak Key and Potter's Key, to engage in curbside takeout during the hours that would be specified by the competent authority. Up to the time of this statement, I cannot definitively say what the final word on this aspect is by the competent authority, but will keep members of the public informed.
As the Bahamas faces its second wave of the deadly coronavirus, more and more Bahamians across this country have become more vulnerable for assistance. Director of the Bahamas Red Cross, Sean Brennan, says their partnership with the National Task Force for Food Security is crucial to assist those over on the Family Islands.
As a group, we actually also are part of the National Task Force for Food Security. In that vein, the Bahamas Red Cross, we have a zone, the southeastern quadrant or zone of New Providence, in addition to feeding the northern islands of the Bahamas, namely Bimini, the Berry Islands, Andros, Cat Island, and the Exumas. We're providing more than 5,000 parcels that we're distributing, a combination here on New Providence, and then we're sending approximately 5,000 food parcels per week via the mail boats into the islands that I mentioned.
With multiple outreach programs throughout the Bahamas, more assistance is needed. Brennan encourages more Bahamians to volunteer to help those in need.
We try to meet the need, so we need help. The complement of the Red Cross in terms of our staff, permanent staff, you're looking at approximately 30 persons. But when you look around, you're going to see individuals helping us to prepare packages immediately for distribution. They're all volunteers. So we graciously thank all Bahamians to really support us by contributing your time, your effort, your talent, by volunteering to help meet the needs of those who are in need.
And still to come, the impact COVID-19 is having on Bahamians in the photography industry. That and more when the Morning Edition comes right back.
We Buy You Sell offers the best in impact windows and doors. The first line of defense in protecting your home and family with premium designs and affordable pricing. We can make your dream home a reality. We also stock a wide variety of tiles such as porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We offer the lowest rates in the country. Located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy You Sell. Come and see us today.
Dolly Madison Home Center wishes to advise the public that they are in the process of moving their operation from the rear into the front to the rooms to go area. Dolly Madison Home Center's commitment to the Grand Bahama community continues to be as it always was, strong. And Dolly will continue to serve Grand Bahama for many years to come. They have a vast inventory in stock, so if you don't see what you need, be sure to ask.
Come on now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pinder. During this global pandemic, we ask for you to be responsible. As we fight the COVID-19 virus together, we would like to encourage you to do the following. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth and nose with a flex elbow or tissue when coughing and sneezing. Practice social distancing by staying 6 feet apart. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and if you must go out, wear a mask. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. To those of you on the front line, we salute you as we continue this fight together.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with GD Media Solutions and this television station.
Hi, welcome to Dream Girls. We offer a wide variety of hair care, and your everyday beauty needs.
Here at Dream Girls, we carry a wide variety of products for natural or relaxed hair, such as ORS, Pure Care, and Shea Moisture. We also carry a large selection of weaving, braiding, and crochet hair. You can expect to find a private wig room, a large variety of products, and service with a smile. Whether you're shopping for a party, a corporate event, or your everyday working woman, Dream Girls can make your dream become a reality. Live your dream, experience your dream, Dream Girls.
We have 3 convenient locations to serve you: Village Road Shopping Center, Prince Charles Shopping Center, and Legacy Plaza located on Prince Charles next to BTC Cash and Go. Here at Dream Girls, enhancing beauty becomes your reality.
Welcome back. The Bahamas currently boasts of 32 national parks covering 2 million acres. We've heard of the inaugural National Park, home of the world-famous flamingos. Our Desmond Saunders tells us about the country's most exotic hidden treasure nestled in the heart of southwestern New Providence. Take a look.
Hidden in one of the most serene, tranquil, and luxurious spots in southwest New Providence is the ancient, undisturbed Primeval National Forest. Established as a national park in 2002, this hotspot features a diverse collection of plants and animal life. There are also amazing sinkholes and caverns up to 50 feet long and over 30 feet deep. The Providence manager for national parks for the Bahamas National Trust, Fallon Cartwright, says the attraction offers Bahamians and visitors a unique experience.
It's one of 4 parks in New Providence, and this forest is probably over 400 years old. So trees that you're looking at, this is literally, you're entering the forest primeval, an old forest, and it has the largest density of limestone sinkholes and caves that we're aware of currently in the Bahamas.
This 8-acre forest is considered one of the most popular parks among international visitors and locals. The property is fully secured. Bridges, boardwalks, and steps takes you to some of the most unique geological features, which holds thousands of years of Bahamian history.
And if you look down here, this is one of the deeper caverns, and a lot of them are interconnected. And we've had scientists map them, so we have a sense of how they're distributed across the landscape. And you can actually walk down into one of them. These are oases for Bahamians and for all of our park visitors. And beyond that, things like all of the ecosystem services that these places provide. Fisheries protections, wetlands which prevent storm surge and flooding. So everything that we depend on in the Bahamas is linked to the environment.
Like many attractions in the country, the forest has been hit hard by COVID-19.
All along, we've been having to align our operations and how we move forward with national emergency orders, recommendations from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Tourism, and certainly the CDC, the World Health Organization. So we've had to take a phased approach very early on. We were very limited in what we could do, so we were protecting national parks through patrols and enforcement and things like that.
The Primeval Forest is now closed. When it reopens, visitors can expect increased protocols and safety measures as part of the new norm.
Which include things like signage to make sure that people, when they come into the parks, they understand how they can move around and how we have set these protocols in place. And so those include things like sanitation and disinfection, so making sure that visitor centers, restrooms, frequently touched surfaces are sanitized regularly. We have protocols for mask use and social distancing.
Officials of the Bahamas National Trust now encouraging Bahamians to visit this national treasure as it provides an oasis for healing and therapy during this COVID period. Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Great story there, Desmond. Thanks a lot. Hit-and-run accidents can be physically financially, and psychologically devastating. While drivers may perpetrate hit and runs for any number of reasons, the people injured as a result of those accidents are the real victims, or in some instances, the hero. Lloyd Allen talks with one woman who was forced into the chair of disability as a result of a hit-and-run incident. Take a look.
36-year-old Jasmine Fraser says life as a disabled single parent has been anything but smooth sailing, as her journey started as a result of a hit-and-run several years ago, followed by a further complication, a femur fracture.
In 2010, I was the victim of a hit-and-run accident that happened over the Easter break, and I became a wheelchair user. As a result of the accident, I had a femur fracture. This meant they had to put steel in the leg when they did the corrective surgery, and I had what they call a drop foot.
Femoral fractures are most common among elderly patients, but can also occur within other age groups, particularly among persons with limited mobility. Jasmine says at the time of the accident, she was enrolled in college and had a 5-year-old son. Although it was rough, she did her best to maintain the status quo despite the challenges.
I spent about 2 months in hospital, but I never lost consciousness. Like I said, it was a journey because I had to learn how to walk all over again. So there was the uncertainty that things would be back to normal or halfway back to normal, but I had a 5-year-old, so that never stayed on my mind. The thing on my mind was getting better.
Jasmine explains, as the years progressed, her life truly became better as she redefined her role as a mother with a disability.
Mommy is different now, but that doesn't mean anything. You still have the best mommy. And so I used some of the endeavors that he had, school, academic-wise, and extracurricular, to help me to get better. So I was involved in everything he was doing.
And while things were great at home, realities of the real world soon kicked in.
Finding a job, you would still apply. There were still certain things I could do. Yes, I was a wheelchair user, but I still had qualifications. So you had the case of having conference calls and Skype interviews, and when you go to do the final interview, that's the end of the road.
She said for one reason or another, she was denied employment. She believes it was a result of her disability, and it was this experience that propelled her into activism. Over the years, she has volunteered her time to several community groups, including the Bahamas Heart Association, the Bahamas National Council for Persons with Disabilities, and the Rangers Program. Her work has led to a special audience with the Governor General, which almost never happened.
I was nominated for a Youth Leadership Award from the Ministry of Youth, and the ceremony was at Government House, and I was so excited. I got all dressed up, and I got there early, and I sat and I waited, and then they informed me that the room that the ceremony was going to be in was upstairs.
She said it was a proud moment considering the challenge and offers this advice to others.
There is no limit to the things that anyone can do. Once it is your passion, once you have the drive, and once you have the ability.
For the morning edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Very touching story there, Lloyd. Thanks a lot. The effects of the COVID-19 have provoked change in many industries, and with the new normal, which allows for constant sanitizing, social distancing, and wearing of the mask, photography shops are no exception. Crystal Darling tells us more about some of the changes to the local industry.
The business that we're in, we come in close contact with our clients. So we had to adjust everything we do.
Words of veteran photographer and owner of ProPhoto, David Knowles. He and fellow photographers Neville Bethel, owner of Portrait Studio, and Davina Knowles, owner of Bahamas Babies and Bellies, spoke to us about how business has been going following COVID-19 lockdowns in the first half of the year.
We've been very, very busy since we opened, doing graduation portraits for many of the schools.
To my surprise, there's been a lot of pent-up demand for passport photographs and child photographs. So we've been quite busy with that. And also because of the lockdown, we've had lots of ID cards to do from the government and other private sector companies. We've got a couple hundred ID cards that we're trying to work on as present because people still have to produce the ID cards to get past the roadblocks, etc.
It's starting to pick back up now that things are reopening. I also go to the home and do things for people there. And even though people are wary, I just make them comfortable and let them know that, I'm following the proper protocols.
They said adjustments had to be made in compliance with COVID-19 business regulations once they reopened their doors.
We had to start taking appointments so that we're ready for when people come in. So that gave us time to sanitize, and we didn't have everybody rushing in at one time. We have people calling in, and that's been working very well to my surprise because we've never done that before.
We spray down the customers' hands, etc. before we serve them, and also our own hands before we touch the customers in the back. We're sort of careful. Sometimes we just have to give verbal instructions.
Because we're photographing infants at a very small age, we have very strict guidelines in terms of sanitation and cleaning everything, like cleaning all of the materials that I use. So in that case, when it came to COVID-19, I was very, very prepared to go into that process because I was already doing it all along.
And although the photography industry, like many others, has been hard hit, the three business owners say they are moving forward with positivity.
We think we're going to get through this, so we're pretty positive.
Expected to slow down once again in a few months' time, but hopefully we should have other products on board that would fill in the gap. Because during the COVID period, I was working on several other projects that should come into being in the next 2-3 months that should sort of level everything off for me.
But when you have a baby, it's such a precious moment. You don't want to miss out on that moment just because of what's going on.
Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
And don't go anywhere. Your home workout session is up next.
Better days are here. Unlimited MiFi 140. Still connected? Believe in best. Alive.
I need a mattress bad.
Dr. Love, you've come to the right place. We have bedroom sets, we have comforters, we have pillows and sheets. But I'm saving the best for last, Dr. Love. Guess what? We have the new up and down bed. Go get your bed.
I like that. You don't do nothing. You go down. Thank God for Island Bedding, the experts in comfort.
Stop in the name of love before you catch that thing. Take it up. Listen to me. You don't want to go nowhere. Stay here. You ain't gonna listen. Oh, you still getting it. You do the chaos. Okay, not a problem. Listen, you're gonna need these masks. Since you have to go, you got to put them on one every hour. And listen to me. You're gonna need some gloves and blow that up, okay? Put these on, and then you know something. You know what? They gonna go up your nose. Be back in Nassau in 72 hours. Else the Q-tip going up your nose, or you're going in quarantine. You understand? Since you have to go, but be safe. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna stay home and try my best to be safe and hand sanitize. Since you have to go, yeah.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and this television station.
Hi, I'm Wes. I like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
I'm Dr. Ferguson. During this global pandemic, we ask for you to be responsible. As we fight this COVID-19 virus together, we would like to encourage you to do the following. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth and nose with a flexed elbow or tissue when coughing and sneezing. Please practice social distancing by staying 6 feet apart. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. If you must go out, wear a mask. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. To those who are on the front line, we salute you as we continue this fight together.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with GD Media Solutions and this television station.
Get those sit-ups in with downtown Natasha Brown.
Bank of Natasha Brown has got you with the ultimate fitness.
Today is a great day to love, value, and appreciate yourself more. I've got 5 awesome exercises to seriously lift your butt. Let's get right to it. downtown Natasha Brown, taking you closer to becoming your ultimate you.
It is important to take precautions to reduce your risk of getting infected with COVID-19 even when you go to the grocery store. Practice physical distancing that is 6 feet apart from others. While you wait in line to enter the store, one person per household needs to go. Use wipes to disinfect the cart or basket handle that you select. Avoid touching your face, unnecessary items, and surfaces. Try to touch only what you are buying. So carry a grocery list to help you move along quickly. Do not forget to wear a cloth mask while you do your shopping and carry hand sanitizer with you. Practice physical distancing that is 6 feet apart from others. As you shop, and at the cash register. Spend as little time as possible in the store and get enough groceries to last you for a while. Once your groceries are packed and loaded, use hand sanitizer and rub your hands together until they are completely dry. When you come home from the grocery store, take off your shoes at the door and put all of your grocery bags in one area. Disinfect your grocery bags. Rinse produce and wipe down cans and packages with soap and water before you put them away. Wash your hands thoroughly for 20 seconds when you are done. Wash your clothes and your reusable grocery bags.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Here's your COVID health tip for today. To reduce your risk of COVID-19, it's important that you wear your face mask the right way. Your mask must cover both your nose and your mouth. Only covering your mouth is not enough because you can inhale respiratory droplets through your nose. If you and others around you are not wearing your mask properly, respiratory droplets from someone else can land in your nose, your mouth, and even your eyes. Or sometimes someone's droplets can land on the surface that you touch. Then you touch your eyes and your nose, and then you can become infected too. There should be no gaps in between your face and your mouth. In addition to wearing face masks, avoid touching your face. Practice physical distancing, proper hand washing, and disinfecting frequently. Touch surfaces. Most importantly, stay at home. Do your part to prevent the spread of COVID-19. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Getting sufficient exercise is ideal, but not always convenient. Here are some ideas for simple balance and toning workouts that can be done at home with no equipment. Here's Crystal Darling.
This weekend, gyms are inaccessible due to health and safety guidelines in alignment with COVID-19 regulations. However, there are still ways to get exercise in your schedule. Hi-Fi health and fitness trainer Trevor Adderley showed us some balancing exercises that can be done anywhere and incorporated into your weekly regimen. He encourages people of all ages and sizes to get active.
You always have a chance to make a change with your body every waking moment of every day. So the key is to be mindful of your habits and your choices throughout each day. Once you do that, you're solid.
First, he started off showing the proper positioning for squats.
Before you start the squat, you turn the hips forward and then push them back, keep your head up. You can slowly go down onto the shoulders, or you can keep them up front if you like. And you're coming up. All right?
How do you know how to let it go? I didn't know how to let it go.
So the key, you can look at your thighs from beside you. Look at your thighs. Make sure the thighs parallel to the floor. And then we come up.
Then I joined him in a game of catch. But of course, there was a catch.
Make sure both knees are lined up. And then you play catch with the person in front of you, maybe 6 to 7 feet away. You do a nice underhand throw. Right hand to right hand. You do about 5 to 10 reps. Then you switch. Left hand to left hand. And you switch feet. You take a nice lob. You do a nice little underhand throw. Crystal's right hand. Go up. You're going to make a nice catch. 1. Good. That's 2. There you go. 3. Oh, yeah.
Next, me and fellow reporter Priscilla Forbes went head-to-head.
Both knees back. Both knees in line. Reach forward, you're going to reach forward. Get a nice control touch. Right? So the aim is control and balance. Right? When you come back, stand up right. That's one. The legs stay up until the first set is done. Or whatever the predetermined set count is for the group at hand. There you go. I win. If you're by yourself, you could do anything. You do a wall. You can draw markings on the wall. Touch them at various heights on the wall. Objects in the home. You can reach for objects in the home. If your room dirty, that's a plus because you have items all around you. So you could reach and touch any one of them. You could even clean. You could even clean. You could even clean doing this to help you with your balance or brush your teeth. So all kind of daily activities, you can try on one leg.
Adderley says that confidence and focus help with the process of transitioning into a healthier lifestyle.
You always have the power in you. You can utilize your environment. You don't need equipment. You carry your equipment every day. That's your body. Stay motivated. You're fantastic. You're awesome. And you can do it.
Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Stay tuned to the ZNS Network, your best choice for local, regional, and international COVID-19 coverage. For the entire team, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great Monday, everyone.
Straight to Miami. Take care for the food. Take care for the life. Monsters, get out.
Welcome aboard Flight 101 with non-stop service into Miami. Kindly fasten your seatbelts, check your money, and get ready to shop.
My Bahamian people have so much money. All they wanna go straight to Miami.